Round number 14 of the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series heads to the friendly confines of Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania for the running of the Pocono 400, where 40 drivers will test who will survive and tame the tricky triangles. We welcome you to the NASCAR on MDK pre-race show. I am your host, Jack Krause. Thank you for joining us today. Now, this is the first time I'm doing this in a while, so welcome back. We have a brand new graphics package. You can tell from that race intro there. We have a new theme song. For those of you who don't know, it is called Across the Nation by the Union Underground. If it sounds familiar to you, it was used by Monday Night Raw in WWE in the Ruthless Aggression era. So yeah, implementing that, it'll be the theme song for the pre-race show and post-race show from now on, because I feel like it's more of an upbeat, intense song and gets you ready for a NASCAR race. But anyways, getting a bit to focus into the theme song, let's get right into it with the news at the track. Only two stories to talk about, and two of them are big stories, especially the first one. Your Toyota announced that wasn't announced, but sources say that Toyota could run or bring back the Supra to the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2019. This is according from Adam Stern from the Sports Business Journal, when Toyota said that it plans to bring back the Supra sports car, which was last produced back in 2002. Now the next story is a sad story. Former NASCAR driver John Andretti has announced that his cancer has returned and has spread. He announced Tuesday that I believe he had colon cancer, or I'm not sure what it was, but he beat it, and unfortunately it came back. So my condolences go out to Andretti and his family. Hopefully Andretti can pull through and beat the SOB once again. So yeah, now let's get right into it with the track facts for this race. And actually, before I go into it, I have a new thing to announce. I'm adding a bit more info as much as possible to the pre-race show. As usual, the bottom of your screen will have a ticker. That's not new. You've seen this before in previous other videos. But now what I'm introducing is a side ticker to the left side of my screen. Actually, I don't know where it's going to be. It's going to be in one side, okay? All right, so I'm going to say to the left side, all right? If it's not, then it's the right side, whatever it is. But it's going to show segments that are coming up, and stats, extra stats and info on segments that I'm currently talking about. So let's say if I'm talking about, I don't know, Pocono Raceway and the track facts, I might have a side on the side, extra info that gives you stuff on Pocono. But now let's get right into it with the track facts for this race. Pocono Raceway, a 2.5 mile triangle track, 3 turns, and all 3 turns are unique in each single way. Turn 1 is 14 degrees, and that came from the now defunct Trenton Speedway. Then you go down Long Pond straightaway into turn 2, the tunnel turn, 8 degrees. That came from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And then in turn number 3, 6 degrees of banking, which came from the Milwaukee Mile. 400 miles makes up 160 laps, stage 1 and 2, 50 laps apiece, with stage 3 being 60 laps. Now, earlier this week, Steve O'Donnell talked about how NASCAR and the Cup Series, they might be implementing the new aero package that was used in the All-Star race for future Cup races this season. Specifically 3: Michigan, Pocono, which we come back in the fall, and Indianapolis. I completely forgot what it was. Indianapolis. For those who don't know what the package really is, it's basically, it uses the 2014 Xfinity spoiler, which had like the ears at the end on super speedway races. It has a 2014 style splitter. It has the aero ducts that was used in the Indy package for the Xfinity series, and a restrictor plate to obviously limit horsepower. It produced a great racing in the All-Star race and great racing in the Xfinity series at Indy. Did not do so well at Pocono, but whatever. It worked 2 out of 3 times. And yeah, so they say they might be implementing that into future races this season. Now, while I like what NASCAR is trying to do, I do not want this to be a solution. Like, for example, Real Ryman said, I do not want this to be a solution to fix mile-and-a-half racing. Because we all know mile-and-a-half racing is dreadful, especially with the car. The new car, the Gen 6 car, absolutely sucks on mile-and-a-half tracks. However, adding restrictor plates won't help. Okay, like I would like to see more mechanical grip in order to provide great racing. Mile and a half can provide great racing. For example, let's flash back to 2011. Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon at Atlanta. The way these guys were racing, that is mile and a half racing at its finest. And the fall off on tires, that's just icing on the cake. Alright, mile and a half racing can be good. However, this package I think is good for tracks like Michigan. Not so much Pocono, because we saw the Xfinity Series at Indianapolis, especially Indianapolis. They need it. The racing has been god awful at Indy for years now. So this package would help it exponentially, massively, no doubt about that. Also, Michigan has been dreadful for years. This package would make racing better, but I don't want this. I don't want NASCAR. And also the fans. I see the fans say, "Oh, I want this at every single track. I want this at every single track." No. This should not. It should be either in the All-Star race or those 3 tracks. But I don't want to see anywhere else. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Let's now move on to the chase grid or the playoff grid after Charlotte and the Coca-Cola 600. Kyle Busch obviously is the top man on the board, 25 playoff points. Second to him is his rival Kevin Harvick with 24 playoff points. And then look at that, 24 down to 7 with Martin Truex Jr. A big shock there compared to last year where he dominated the entire season with stage points or playoff points. He's third. Joe Logano tied with him for fourth with 7 playoff points as well. Clint Bowyer fifth with 5 playoff points. Austin Dillon, Daytona 500 champion, was 6 and 6 with again 5 playoff points. And then Keselowski, the highest position driver without a win, 141 points above the cut line out of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Kurt Busch 8th, Denny Hamlin 9th, Kyle Larson in 10th, Eric Almirola 11th, Ryan Blaney 12th, Jimmy Johnson 13th, Eric Jones 14th, Alex Bowman 15th, and Chase Elliott tied with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 16th spot. Stenhouse, the first one out, like I said, tied for 16th. Paul Menard, 33 points below the cut line, but he has the playoff point from Talladega. Daniel Suarez, 51 points below the cut line, and Jimmy McMurray, 65 points below the cut line. Now let's take a look at the starting lineup for today's Pocono 400. Big shock here. The reason why I say big shock, because we all expect either Kevin Harvick or Kyle Busch to take it. However, with I think 30 seconds from qualifying being over, or like 1 or 2 minutes from qualifying being over, Ryan Blaney set the fastest lap and he would end up taking the pole. Ryan Blaney obviously is the defending winner of this race. Kevin Harvick to his outside of him in row 1. Row 2 has Jamie McMurray, a nice run for him, and Martin Truex Jr. Row 3 has Kyle Busch and Kurt Busch, Busch brothers on row 3. Joe Logano and Ryan Newman make up row number 4. Clint Bowyer and Denny Hamlin, row 5. Chase Elliott, Austin Dillon, row 6. Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, row 7. Teammates Jimmy Johnson and William Byron, row 8. Brad Keselowski and Daniel Suarez make up row 9. Bubba Wallace and Paul Menard, row 10. David Reagan and Casey Kane, row 11. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and AJ Allmendinger, row 12. Eric Jones and the driver that was replaced by him, Matt Kenseth, next to each other in row 13. Chris Buescher and Cole Custer making his second Cup start in row 14. Ty Dillon and Michael McDowell, row 15. Ross Chastain and Matt DiBenedetto, row 16. Landon Castle and Eric Almirola, who had issues in qualifying, will start on the outside of row 17. Cole Witt and Greg Gaulding make up row 18. And then JJ Yaley in a new NY racing team and Derek Cope rounds up the field in row 19. Now let's check out the odds to win from Pocono Raceway. I would say it's for entertainment purposes only in Vegas, but screw it. This would be helpful for you. No shock, Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick on the top of the board, 5-2 for Harvick and 3-1 for Kyle Busch. Martin Truex Jr. with a 6-1 chance of winning. Ryan Blaney, the pole sitter, with a 7-1 chance. Kyle Larson with a 10-1 chance. And Denny Hamlin, the 4-time winner, with a 12-1 chance of winning. And then Brad Keselowski and Kurt Busch with a 15-1 chance. Joe Logano with an 18-1 chance. And Clint Bowyer, Eric Jones, and the rest of the field that are not on this list with a 25-1 chance of winning. Now let's take a look at the drivers that you should look out for at Pocono as we crunch the numbers. With all the recent success Kevin Harvick has had since moving to Stewart-Haas Racing in 2014, it's surprising to note that he has not won a single race at the Tricky Triangle. However, he has come close, finishing second 4 times, including second last year in both June and July. By the way, that second place finish in July coming to Kyle Busch, who is his biggest rival this season. He has scored 10 top 5s, 15 top 10s, with an average start of 16.2 and an average finish of 13. He has only led 68 laps. Kevin Harvick does have good guards today, so watch out for the number 4 and having a strong chance and getting a win at Pocono. You now could say that Kyle Busch is riding on cloud 9. After a win last week in the Coca-Cola 600, he actually made NASCAR history by becoming the first person to win at every single active track he's raced on in his entire career. and he's heading to one of his most recent wins. He has scored 1 win in the Tricky Triangle in 26 races, 5 top 5s, 11 top 10s, had an average start of 11.6 and an average finish of 17.50. He has led 260 laps, and just like Harvick, Kyle Busch has a fast car, and he has a lot of momentum on his side, coming off a win from the Xfinity race yesterday, which, by the way, the car failed post-race inspection. So ha! Now, Kyle's older brother Kurt has had some good success at Pocono Raceway. In 33 races, he has scored 3 wins, 14 top 5s, 19 top 10s, had an average start of 10.5 and an average finish of 14.15. He has led over 530 laps, and again, he's in a Ford, so he's gonna have a fast car today. He qualifies in the top 10 in this race, so watching for Kurt Busch to maybe get win number 4 today. Now, every time we go to a track in NASCAR, there is one driver that's best suited at a certain track. For Pocono, it was Denny Hamlin. And in the first 12 races at the track, he has scored 4 wins, including 2 in a row in his rookie season, 7 top 5s, 8 top 10s, and an average start of 5.91 and a staggering average finish of 9.6, with leading over 639 laps. However, since the repave back in 2012, he has scored 0 wins, only 3 top 5s, 6 top 10s, with an average start of 8.5 and an average finish of 13.91, with 3 DNFs to that. And on top of that, he has only led 49 laps. In fact, in the last 12 races, he has not led a single lap in half of those. So while Pocono should be an easy bet for Denny Hamlin to do well, don't be surprised if you see Denny Hamlin struggle in today's race. Now let's take a look at the drivers that you need to look out for, and a dark horse for this race, obviously driver to look out for is Ryan Blaney. 8th fastest of first practice, 7th fastest in the second, and again qualified on the pole. In his short career at Pocono Raceway, he has scored 1 win in 4 races, 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, average start of 10.3, and an average finish of 13, and only led 10 laps, but again, he has a very strong race car, so make sure you watch out for him. Kyle Busch, again, no surprise here. Another driver you need to look out for. Was fastest in both qualifying sessions, qualified 5th, and he has a 1 career win from last fall in 26 races. And yeah, we already talked about his stats and crunched the numbers. And a dark horse, Alex Bowman. The Hendrick cars have been improving on speed after Charlotte, especially. Their hopes were obviously up after Johnson finished, I believe, 4th in the Coke 600. Speed has gone up, especially with Alex Bowman. He was 2nd fastest in the first practice, 4th fastest in second, qualified 14th. And career stats of Pocono, obviously this is not really fair to say because he was in poor equipment in the past 4 races, 0 wins, 0 top 5s and top 10s, average start of 33, average finish 28.25, and has not led a single lap. Now let's take a look at my fantasy live picks for Pocono Raceway. Again, haven't done this in a while. So here we go with the starters. Again, this is no surprise. Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Kurt Busch, and Kevin Harvick. Those drivers have had success at Pocono Raceway, so you have better put them as your starters. And in the garage, Clinton Boyer, I feel like he could be a sleeper. He is in a Stewart-Haas Ford, so he will have speed. And the bonus, I'm going to say Kevin Harvick wins stage 1 mainly because he does start on pole and just clean air is just OP, but I feel like though Kyle Busch will take over and win stage 2 and will win the race, and Ford will be the winning manufacturer to have like a safe bet. You know, if Kyle Busch wins, or if Kyle Busch doesn't win, at least I have Kevin Harvick as a Ford winning manufacturer. Yeah, the reason why I picked Kyle Busch, he is riding on momentum, even though his car failed post-race inspection from Xfinity. He's riding momentum from that Xfinity Series win and momentum from the Charlotte win. So he is on cloud 9, like I mentioned in Crunch the Numbers. I don't know, and you're heading to one of his best tracks in recent years, so I don't know how you're going to be able to stop Kyle Busch from the dominant success he has had. So thank you so much for watching the NASCAR MDK pre-race show from Pocono Raceway. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the Pocono 400. But until next time, I'm Joe Krause from NASCAR on MDK, and I will see you in the next video.